Wow. That's the last thing I want. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Oh, that was inadequate. I'm sorry. Shabbat shalom, everyone. That was so much better. Some of you I met in my last couple of visits here, and some of you are brand new faces to me. I'm going to ask for your patience as I learn your names this year. And if I make a mistake, there's a concept in Judaism called minhag hamakom, which is the custom of that place. And so I'm trying to learn the customs. And so tonight I thought you would get like a full dose of what I have to offer and hopefully honor your customs as well. So one of the things that I grew up doing was singing. When we moved to Minnesota in '66, I was 12 years old, and we were in a large congregation, and there was a professional choir who wasn't Jewish, and we started to sing along with them, and we were told by 500 people, we don't sing here. And because of that, I had kind of what the psychologists call a reaction formation. I just sang. My song leader in high school, a very dear friend of mine, was a woman named Debbie Friedman, who wrote so much of the music that we use today. And we're going to start out with a song that she wrote that I hope is emblematic of the vision that we have, not only for ourselves, but for this sacred community that I'm honored to lead. So on the blue song sheet you were given, there's a song called, "And the Youth Shall See Visions." Now, I have to ask, before this becomes a solo concert, how many of you have heard of Debbie Friedman? Raise your hand. Oh, good, good, good. How many of you sung Debbie Friedman's song? Good, because I know Cantor Jan has made sure that someone has come in front of me. And I'm old, so I have to wear reading glasses too, so okay. Goes like this. Childhood was for fantasies, for nursery rhymes and toys. The world was much too busy to understand small girls and boys. As I grew up, I came to learn that life was not a game, that heroes were just people that we called another name. And the old shall dream dreams, and the youth shall see visions, and our hopes shall rise up to the sky. We must live for today, we must build for tomorrow. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Now I'm grown. Now I'm grown, the years have passed. I've come to understand there are choices to be made, and my life's at my command. I cannot have a future till I embrace my past. I promise to pursue the challenge. Time is going fast. Why? Because the old shall dream dreams, and the youth shall see visions, and our hopes shall rise up to the sky. We must live for today, we must build for tomorrow. Give us time and give us strength, give us life. Today's the day. Today's the day I take my stand. The future's mine to hold. Commitments that I make today are dreams from days of old. I have to make the way for generations come and go. I have to teach them what I've learned so they will come to know that the old shall dream dreams and the youth shall see visions and our hopes shall rise up to the sky. We must live for today, we must build for tomorrow. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Last time. Give us time and give us strength, give us life. Well, in my old synagogue, the custom was to rise for the lighting of candles. So if you are able in body or spirit to rise, I ask that you do so as Janine and Jody come forward to light candles for Shabbat. If you're in your prayer book, you're on page 120, going from right to left.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled lights, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle the light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Melech haolam asher
Shanu
Zivan. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Say Shabbat shalom to somebody near you. Prayerfully, somebody you didn't come in the door with. Please have a seat. Shabbat shalom. We're going to start reading on page 124, in the middle of the page. And if you don't mind, we'll read the couplets responsively about the kind of congregation many of you think we are right now, and many of you aspire for us to become. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Together? May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut up pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. So turn ahead to page 138. We're going to do two songs before the Baruch Hu. One is Lecha Dodi. This is an old tune. By the way, for those of you who think that the Debbie Freeman song is a new tune, it's only 41 years old. So if you know this tune for Lecha Dodi, we invite you to join in. We're on page 138. We do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem ol tifaret v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nisuha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 5. Hit'oreri ki va'orech kumi ori Uri, Uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 9, is it your custom to rise and face the door for guests? That's the way I always taught it, but only do it if you are feeling up to it and able. Verse 9. Bo'i v'shalom ahateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emuneh am segula, bo'i chala. Please be seated. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please turn to 142. There's a story that goes with Shalom Aleichem. The rabbis tell the story of the person who goes to Shabbat services and is supposed to come home to dinner. And on the left shoulder is the opposer, Satan, the bad angel, and on this side is the good angel. And as you round that corner and look in the door, if the table's set and there's a tablecloth and everything's beautiful and kids are dressed nicely, the good angel says, may next Shabbat be just like this. And the bad angel has to say, against his will, amen. But if they turn the corner and nobody's prepared anything at all, and there's pizza on the floor and the dog is licking it, the bad angel says, may next Shabbat be just like this. And the good angel, against his will, has to say, amen. May your Shabbat be the beautiful one that the bad angel against his will has to say amen. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Hayom. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mihi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitem l'shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We turn to Chatzi Kaddish on the following page on the right. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. I need an amen. Say amen. V'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei mechayechonu v'yochomechonu v'chayedecho be'Yisrael bahagala uvizman kaharifi imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olal me'al maya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitamav v'yanaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekodesha, brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'mihiran be'olma, v'yimeru, amen. Please rise as you are able on page 146 for Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vahen. So on page 148, we're going to read the translation of Mariv, because I am always stunned when I look in the night sky. I'll tell you, when I was a child, I read Bible stories incessantly, and from third grade on, and there was a story that God told Abraham to go out and count the stars if he was able, and that's how many we would be. And I lived in the New York area in the 50s with a lot of smog, so I ran outside and said, 7, there are going to be 7 of us, because you couldn't see any stars. But you know something? When you see it and behold it, it's incredible. So let's read together where it says, blessed. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler. 148. 148. Okay, Mariv, take 2. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully about change the season. Baruch atah Adonai ha'mahariv ha'ravim. Turn the page. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu u'v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach medivrei toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam. If you would find your seats again, the Ve'ahavta is on page 154. I know it's slightly different from you. I'm trying to learn your way. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'chol nafshecha u'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartaha baham, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'aderech, ושוך בך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לדודפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. The rabbis say the Ve'ahavta is one of the few passages in the service that must be said in a language understood by the heart. So it's one of the only ones I do the Hebrew and the translation of. If you'll join me. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Put in your heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you're away, when you lie down, when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, that serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house, that you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God. Please turn ahead to page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Please turn the page. I know some of your kids go to Gucci Camp. The most popular song leader there is a guy named Dan Nichols. This is his tune for Micha Mocha. I told you I was going to blend old and new, Andy. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot o severele, Nora tehilot o severele, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, lokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu v'amru, Ze'eli anu v'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Back to Micha Mocha. 1, 2, ready, and Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar ba'kodesh. V'ne'emar Adonai et Yaakov u'galom yad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai ga'al Yisrael. On page 161, there's a beautiful rendering. There's a man named Noah Aronson who has written an album called The Left Side of the Page. And he took all these readings that are on the left side of our prayer book, and he set them to music. This is his Hashkivenu. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from. You all know that's great. Again, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Last time, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Please turn the page. I'm going to assume that people know this tune because it's old. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael, od hi le'olam, od hi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. On the facing page, a thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song in the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world. Scattering a song in the silence of the night, eternity utters a day. As you are able, please rise for the beginning of the tefillah. And again, I'm going to try to do your nusach, your tune for the Avot and Gvurot. I know it slightly differently. And if I do it in a way different for you, just run me over. It's great, okay? Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagin dehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, l'man shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei kol atarav lehoshia. Mechel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol merachamim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, u'matir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מחמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך מלך ממיר ומחיה Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalaluhu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We're on page 173, and the readings we're going to do to complete the Amidah in English are all skates. Does anybody remember the roller rink when you had an all skate? Yeah, good. I'm glad. I hope you wore your inlines. Anyway, may these hours of rest, and we're at the top of 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle, may all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. On page 175, in the middle. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble and pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avon. Another psalm of nature on 177, the Modim, the Thanksgiving prayer, in English has been rendered in the words of Psalm 8 in the middle of the page. Please join me on 177. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set by you. What are we humans that you are mindful of us? Dominion over your handiwork. How majestic is your name. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha ne'eh lahodam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. B'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, HaYisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai and Barech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom. We continue with our Mishaberach on 371 in our prayer book. I have one name on our list, Eloise Rapino. If there's somebody else in your heart, you might say that name softly out loud and let it enter the atmosphere of this sacred community at this sacred moment. People ask me all the time when I pray at somebody's bedside for healing of cancer or another dread disease, am I praying that the disease disappear? And the answer is no. I pray for the wisdom of doctors and the skill of nurses and their compassion. I pray that the people who clean the room do so with a smile and do so in a way that shows caring. I pray that the people who stick needles in our arms cause the least amount of pain. And to me, if I pray for all those things and all those things happen, there is a possibility for the healing to take place. So for Eloise and anybody else who is needing of healing in body, in mind, or in spirit, I don't know the custom here. I sing it. If you want to sing it with me, fine. If you want to respond, amen, that's fine. If you want to just close your eyes and let me sing Mishaberach for you, the way Debbie used to do for me, please feel free to do that as well. Mishaberach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. A dear friend of mine who worked with me for 7 years at Temple Sinai and now has her own congregation in Tacoma, Washington, taught me, even though I'm much her senior, that there are really only 3 prayers, especially when we offer silent prayer. And those 3 are wow, please, and thanks. Think of the one that describes your soul, the state of your being tonight. Are you in a wow mood? This is amazing. Are you in a please mood because something is missing from your life? Are you in a thanks mood? Every day of the pandemic, no matter what has happened to my family, I get up and give thanks that I am still here, that my family is still here. Please take a moment for your own private prayer. I'm singing on page 260. And I may have given some wrong page numbers. I'm used to giving the ones not in parentheses, so if I have messed up, I will have to come back for Yom Kippur. Please forgive me. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Uyachaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'hakol כל יושבי תבל. ואמרו אמן. ואמרו אמן. ואמרו אמן. ואמרו אמן. I was born in 1954 in Albany, New York. We didn't live in Albany. My parents lived in Stuyvesant Town in the rent-controlled in Lower Manhattan. But my mother's mother lived in Albany, and for the first 3 of her 5 children, she would go upstream of the Hudson like a good salmon. He would go up to her mother to spawn. And I was born in Albany General, and then we lived in Stuyvesant Town and then crossed the river to a tiny town called Demorest, New Jersey, which was not tolerant. It really was not tolerant, and it was rough on Jews in the 1950s who were making that trek across the river. And one day, I was just bummed out by the things going on in the town, and I was a really heavy thinker. I was 7, and when I was 7, things really, really get to you. And my dad, Alav Shalom, mentioned to me that he thought the Yiddish term is schmulling, to schmull. Does anybody know this term? It is a Yiddish term to mope. And he said, "You're moping, stop moping." I said, "Well, I don't feel good." And he said, "Jamie, when will this day come again?" I said, "Well, next year. It'll just be a different day of the week." He said, "No, that'll be next year." Well, and I've tried to figure out when it was going to be the same day of the week, that same date. And I'm bad at math, really bad. And he said, "Jamie, it's never coming again. This day is what it is. This day you can choose to schmull, you can choose to be joyful, you can choose to be constructive, you can choose to do anything." And that, believe it or not, is how the Torah portion starts. It's so important to Reform Jews, we repeat it on Yom Kippur morning, even though that's not the traditional Torah portion for Yom Kippur morning. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. You, all of you, are gathered here this day. And the rabbis throughout our tradition make a big deal about saying this day. What does this day mean? The passage goes on to say that everybody is there at water's edge listening to Moses' last big speech. Everyone, it says, men, women, children, water drawers, hewers of wood, slaves. And then it says, those who are here, those who are not here, which the rabbis interpreted meaning all those yet to be born. Us, we were there. This day, the day of Nitzavim, we stand ready to enter into a land of promise, not just a promised land. Because I like history, some of you know my story because I told you, I am a high school history teacher from the 70s who couldn't get a job. And after trying to get a job, I finally got into rabbinical school, and I said, oh, this is teaching too, and I get a much nicer office. This day in 1961, the first color series was ever shown on TV by ABC. I don't know if you know what it is. It was a glimpse of the future called The Jetsons. This day, September 23rd, in 1961. This day in 57, the Little Rock Nine tried to enter the high school in Little Rock and had to be escorted out by militia because the people in Little Rock, Arkansas were not prepared to accept black kids in their school. And this day in 1981 was the last concert Bob Marley and the Wailers ever gave. He gave it in my hometown of Pittsburgh. This day in the past is filled with meaning. But the Torah says this day is this day that you're in right now. Atem netzavim kulchem hayom. You are all standing. You are gathered here today, ready to cross over into a land of promise. And what is that promise? It's not just the promise of the Torah, which promises blessing or curse if we disobey. It's the promise of Shomer Emunim, the promise built on the labor of all those who came before, the families and the leaders, the promise built on the incredible efforts of your present president, Janine Hutner, and the office staff and Cantor Jen. You stand ready to enter into a land of promise to be fulfilled. It is my honor to stand here before you, not to lead you, not even really to guide you, but to walk with you into that land. These words, Atem netzavim kulchem hayom, you are standing here this day, have echoed in my heart because the passage ends by saying, don't think the law is too far away. It's not in the heavens. It's not across the sea. You have a choice. You can choose life or death, blessing or curse. You can choose. This day, you can choose to fulfill the promise of this wonderful congregation. I refuse to say historic, even though it is, because historic is a nod to the past. All of you, no matter what your age sitting here, are filled with hopes for the future of this sacred community. It's my hope and my personal prayer that we escort each other through this year. And at the end of this year, when my work is done, I promise you, I will not leave a silver bullet on the mantle. Anybody remember the reference? Come on, it's the Lone Ranger. Work with me, guy, please. But the love that we create this year and the love that we share, you will bank it and be able to bring it to bear and to the fore for who is going to be your permanent rabbi, hopefully for the next decade. Atem netzavim kulchem hayom. You are all standing here. You are all gathered here this day. This day, may you be blessed. This day, may you be a blessing. May you be a blessing. Amen. Are there announcements, Janine? You got it. The only announcement I'll give is tomorrow, the prayer and parsha, which is my version of musical minyan, and there will be music, is going to be in the chapel at 10:30. And no, I will not be wearing a tie. Shabbat Shalom. So if you turn in your book to page 586, our concluding set of prayers starts with Aleinu. I'm going to ask you, as you are able, to please rise, and I will open the ark.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה להיות סכר בראשית, שהוא נקרא אדמה, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On page 589,
Read with me, please. May the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn. Shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image. Then shall your realm be established on earth. $591. V'nehemar v'yadonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. On page 595. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We especially remember the recent death of Rose Weitzel, and we honor the yahrzeits of all those who were beloved in our congregation. Samuel R. Ballas, Francis Bame, Mona Bender, Jody Dreyer, Ann S. Elias, Lenore Entine, thank you very much. David H. Epstein, Charlene Friedman, Annette B. Friedman, Betty Gottschalk, Rachel S. Himmel, Samuel H. Cohn, Max Kutash, Marvin G. Lerner, Harry Michael, Bessie Miller, Isaac R. Nathanson, Isaac Oppenheim, and Sophia Osterman, Jacob Rogalski, Jack Schwartz, Harry L. Silverman, Ellen Greenfield Skaggs, Linda Starsky, Daniel Starsky, Henry Stern, Sylvia Stern, Mary Wallace Tolson, Annie Vogel, David Wapner, Robert Weaver, Erwin Wexler, Fanny Bear Wolf, and Leland S. Ziegler. We honor all of them with our Kaddish. Our Kaddish is found on page 598. Yit Gadal, Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma Divra Chirute, V'yamlich Malchute, B'chaye Chon, V'yame Chon, B'chaye Dechol Be'Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv V'yemru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah M'varach, Le'olam Olam Me'al Maya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kudsha, Brichum, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran v'yoma v'yimru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel, all those who mourn, all those who live in this terribly broken world searching for wholeness, all those who we love so much. May their memories be a blessing for all time, as together we say, Amen. Please find your seats one more time. There's a song that's going to be done several times during the high holiday season. I thought I'd introduce it to you tonight. It's called A New Year by a wonderful musician in Nashville, named Michael Hunter Oakes. If you want to hear a wonderful version of this, go to YouTube and look up A New Year, Oakes, 92nd Street Y. From Angela Buckdahl in New York to choirs in Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, England, youth choirs, they do such a beautiful version of this. So this, again, another Yiddish word, this is a Vorspeis. You know what a Vorspeis is? Just a little foretaste of what you're going to enjoy, I hope, on the high holidays. And again, my thanks to Cantor Jen and Janine and Lynn and Wendy and all those who have given me such a warm welcome, as well as all of you who have done so as well. And after this, we'll go out for Kiddush, okay? May this be a year of love and kindness. May strangers come to be friends. May truth and compassion always guide us. Amen. May this be a year of hope and healing for all those in need. And may all of our deeds be a blessing. Amen. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. May this be a year of selfless giving. May this be a year of peace. May we forgive and be forgiven. Amen. The chorus. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer. Do that again. A new year, a good year, a chance to start all over. Boy, we need that. A new year, a sweet year, a chance to bring us closer, closer to the ones we love, closer, a world that we can be proud of, long as there are stars above. There comes a new year. Amen. Adonai Ozle mo yitein Adonai varechet mo shalom. As the psalm says, may God give strength to our people. May God bless every single one of you and our whole community with the wholeness of peace. As together we say, Amen. Shabbat shalom. Let's go make Kiddush.